Hi, and welcome to Punks on Film. My name is Lawrence, also a punk. My co-host, Matthew. Do not call him Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's another week, another grind, another dollar. I think I just spent the last of my Christmas money's coming in tomorrow, I think.
another day, another toy.
Yeah.
I got to work on an open, guys, so it gives people like a minute. I don't know. I've been telling Matthew this for quite some time now, and boy, I finally have some time to do stuff, and I'm avoiding YouTube as much as possible, to be honest. You sit
I
here so much, man. You're just like an idiot.
right now I'm tired of all these speculation or anticipation lists and all that kind of stuff. I like the top tens of the year. I like those kind of things. But yeah, I've been kind of out on a lot of streams lately because they've been talking about stuff. I'm like, meh, whatever.
This shit will come when it comes, right?
Exactly.
And there's going to be a lot of it. So, have you been watching anything?
Yeah, we're watching Reacher and Percy Jackson and Night Court.
I forgot. Yeah, the Percy Jackson. That's right. My daughter has been gone for like over a week, so I haven't watched the latest episode, or maybe two episodes now. So, because she's the one who wanted to watch it, so
yeah,
I'm kind of waiting for her. And we started watching Echo. My son and I started watching Echo.
Oh.
You don't like it, or did you not watch it?
The most boring garbage that's ever been put out there, and character destroying and lore destroying. It's
I don't know the lore. I do know that they changed it. We're 3 episodes and I like it so far. The first fight scene with Daredevil, amazing. It gave you
except for nobody hit anybody. Nobody even came close to hitting anyone.
Listen. But I'm enjoying it. I know how you are. You should watch the shit with my son. I'll be 100% honest. All he does is destroy it, knock it down, and stuff like that.
Well, what they do to Kingpin in this series is unforgivable because that original Netflix Daredevil show is the best thing that Marvel's done. Period, hands down, end of story. And what they do to Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin character in this show is unforgivable.
Well, I've got the last 2 episodes, so I've just seen him show up at the end of the 3rd one. So.
And that's all you're going to see of Daredevil, by the way. He's in and out.
Oh yeah, well, I figured because I think they're just trying to show that all those Netflix shows are now canon, which it took them long enough to do it. I don't know why they didn't, considering
Kevin Feige hated the TV side of things. He wanted nothing to do with S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He wanted nothing to do with any of those things. He was forced into a couple things with it. But he wanted a complete separation. And some of it had to do with the people working on the Daredevil Netflix show specifically. That he's like, no, I don't want anything to do with those people.
Well, again,
because they actually knew comic book lore and he doesn't. Oh, I said it. Here it is.
I like the Marvel, the MCU. Not everything is great, but I don't think they really. Well, I haven't seen the Marvel, so I can't speak. So, I mean, no movie has been absolutely horrible. Way better than what we saw, what we see with DC. And
from what you've seen of Percy Jackson, what do you think of that one?
I'm enjoying it, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
And now it's been a couple weeks since I've watched it. I think we made up to the 3rd episode.
Okay, so I think you're 2 behind.
He's found out that Poseidon is his dad, and then he's going on his quest.
Yeah,
and I like it, but I don't know anything about the lore. But I believe isn't it based off an actual book?
Yeah, there's a book series, and then they did a movie of it also.
Yeah, I remember that. We watched that.
There were a couple scenes in the movie that they've done in the TV show that I actually like better in the movie. I think they got the age right for the kids in the TV show. Up until this last episode, the actress who plays the female companion has not been very engaging or much like the characters from the book. But I guess she's growing in her acting ability or she's getting better parts of the script. But the script is very feed it to the audience type of thing, which is disappointing, but at the same time, I understand why they're doing it. So we've mostly enjoyed it. Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, and Olivia's the one that brought it up to me. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's even cooler that she still comes to me and she's like, "Hey, let's watch this." And not something I would have thought that, not something that a lot of girls that are about to be 15. Wow, I can't believe that.
Good luck, man. Almost the driving age.
Well, Andrew's almost 18 and he just has his permit. So, I so I started watching Louder. It's an old. It's from like 2000, like 2020.
Okay.
It's the guy from Office Space.
Oh, okay.
Louder. What's it called? It's on Netflix right now. Hold on. I gotta look it up. It's. I just started watching it the other day, and I'm like, I can't get enough of this. What's IMDb? Anyone know what it is?
I think it's different enough
Louder
from
Milk.
the movie. I think it's different enough from the movie that it's been fun, but there are a lot of similarities, obviously, because they're trying to cover some of the same material. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's called Louder Milk, and you'll see it on Netflix. And he's an alcoholic that's been sober for like 4 years, and he's a counselor, but he's basically playing his character from Office Space. If he was an alcoholic that got clean and now is doing, he doesn't really give a shit.
He became an alcoholic because he almost got caught with that big financial scheme that he tried to run, but his building burned down, so he was safe.
I ain't gonna lie, as a straight edge guy, that might drive me to drinking too. All right, like oh my god, I survived that one. But it's good. It's just like it's a dark comedy. Reacher, I keep going to, and I'm like, still not another episode. Every time I go there and I click on it, it says, "Do you want to start this over?" No, I want to see the next episode.
Yeah, I think Thursdays are the drop dates.
Now, did you catch any of the Easter eggs they threw in there throughout the series
of Reacher?
Okay, so when the detective is handing the little kid that his dad was killed, the comic.
Yep.
Did you catch that? It's
I
Aquaman.
did. Yeah.
You're talking about the Aquaman. You realize that Reacher played Aquaman.
Yes, I do.
Smallville.
Yep.
So
they've also made reference to the Tom Cruise movies.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So they're talking about past guys that they've dealt with, and they bring up the bad guy from the Reacher movie that Tom Cruise was in.
Which one?
I don't remember, but they said his name, and he said, "Oh, I've dealt with him. He's okay."
Okay, because I just watched the first Reacher again, just because I just wanted something that if I passed out while watching or if I walked away, it wouldn't bother me.
It's my stapler. It's my stapler.
Office Space is honestly, it's seriously one of the best movies because it's so true.
Yeah, that copier machine that they destroyed in the field, they left it in the field. Yeah, I found it as a teenager.
Did you know that I know what that message actually means? The PC load letter?
Yes, I bet you do.
All they had to do was call a tech, and all they had to do was replace the rollers, and it's basically just telling you that the rollers couldn't pick up the paper because they're worn. So it's telling you that the load letter at the beginning can't load it. Yeah, I started watching that, and I don't think, was there anything else that I watched?
It's never enough flair. Never enough.
Yeah, my flair. Yeah. You know what pisses me off about that is that when I went to Jersey, I had some a flare from Chubsy Wubsy, and I had no idea what I did with the pin or the sticker that he gave me.
Oh no.
It was in a bag. I'm like, well, the plunder link is over there, so I know I made it in my house. um, but yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Was there anything else that I watched? Like I said, we started watching Echo, and I wanted to watch something, and I'm like, when you're always looking for something, you can't find anything.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I've never seen the Equalizers.
Oh,
So
dude,
Equalizer
they're
3
awesome.
keeps being pushed out on
Yeah.
Netflix, and I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, if you have Equalizer 3, you have 1 and 2 on here, right? No. I have
No,
to
of
pay
course
for
not.
them. I'm like, I'm not going to go pay for them. Like, now I'm pissed. Like, stop pushing it out. It's kind of like when when Susan was pregnant with Andrew, she saw a commercial from Arby's for a Reuben sandwich. So then she wanted a Reuben. So it was like 11:30 at night. She's looking. She calls. They're like, "Oh, we close at 11." Now she's just pissed. And to this day, she will tell you they should not be allowed to do commercials if they're for food if they're closed, which I kind of agree with in many ways.
Don't put Chick-fil-A commercials on Sundays.
Yeah,
Just don't do that.
exactly. So she ends up calling Big Boy, and they're open, and she's like, she orders the Reuben, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'll go, and she's mad. She's like, I'll go pick it up. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pick it up. You didn't want to go get it in the first place. Well, no, I really didn't want to go out at 12 at midnight, but I would go out. But no, she went out. So she said she walks in there, and she's like, I got an order for so and so, and the guy goes, oh, I'm sorry, we just ran out of Reubens. And her face, and she.
Nah.
And he goes, oh, I'm just kidding. She goes, I'm pregnant. And she tells him the whole story. And he's like, I'm so sorry. My girlfriend's, her wife is pregnant at home. I'm so sorry. If I would have known you were pregnant, I would not have made the joke. I'm like, good Lord. Like, I can't. I'm sure that guy would never forget that.
So I want to see the latest Equalizer movie because some people have said it could be a direct sequel to Man on Fire because there's two of the same actors in there that play similar roles. Denzel Washington and the young girl play similar roles. That this could be the extension of Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. Which one? I've never seen that one.
Oh, that's
I've
a good
not
one.
seen a lot of Denzel Washington movies, to be honest.
He's amazing.
And I'm not saying because I think Training Day is amazing.
Yeah.
I remember there was someone. It was on a radio station I was listening to. Someone had called in and they were mad, and they said, he's always, he plays these good guys. What kind of person is he? What kind of idol or what kind of role model is he if he's playing bad guys? And they're like, he's an actor.
Yeah.
That's if you can see this guy that normally plays good guys play an amazing bad guy, that's showing your acting ability, and you're mad at him about it.
Oh yeah. Well, so this is common in Hollywood and foreign press as well because Jet Li, his first American movie role was Lethal Weapon 4, where he played a bad guy, and he got panned in China so bad for playing the bad guy because he was always the good guy. And they were so upset that he said in his contracts, I will never play another bad guy in an American movie again. I think he did, but it was also because he was also the good guy in that movie. So he was playing the good guys and the bad guys.
Yeah, again, like, I understand why some people get typecast as always being a good guy. The Rock, showed, that he, unfortunately, he completely destroyed Black Adam because he had to make him be, the hero. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you had the look to be Black Adam, but why did you have to make him the hero?
That's also my other biggest problem with Echo is that she's supposed to be an anti-hero or good guy now when she was an insane assassin, killer, murderer, and now she's suddenly redeemed with no recourse or even saying, hey, I'm sorry for what I did.
The only thing about that is there's a lot of anti-heroes in Marvel, and I mean Marvel in general.
Too many.
that kill a lot of people. Well, let's just start with the guy that drives a black van. And that guy's mowing down. Like at this point, Thanos should have just went to him and said, "Hey, listen, I want to slaughter half of the universe. Can you help me?"
You know that Frank Castle did become Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
No, I
right?
did not.
So Frank Castle is Cosmic Ghost Rider. So yeah, he was running around tearing stuff up and up there.
Oh, so what did you think of this? The beekeeper.
I've been curious about this because that's got a big Bobby Vallis symbol on his chest.
I know. Poor Bobby. Like, he's getting that Civil War movie coming out. That's basically what is his story. And then he's got this beekeeper. Now, of course, the beekeeper, that symbol wasn't actually his to begin with. It was DC anyway.
Yeah.
So, but when you messaged me about that, I was like, but when you asked me, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I had already seen it, but I didn't put two and two together and I rewatched it and I was like, oh, because you also messaged me about the Civil War one, which is almost like,
yeah, that's almost his Action Force storyline.
Yeah, except for I think it's California and Texas, right?
Which doesn't make any sense at all.
One. No, I thought, like, why wouldn't it be like, New Mexico or, like the lower states or something? Just, it didn't, that didn't, you're not just getting there.
No.
That one was interesting.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see it. I like Jason Statham, so his stuff's going on is cool. All right, Mr. Wonderful. We'll get to it here.
Hey, don't worry, Travis. We'll get there. All right. You show up for one of these, and all of a sudden you're like demanding, like, what we do here. Yeah, Texas and Florida would make more sense, but you still have. Well, okay. Well, I guess you still have Alabama between them, but I guess you'd still have the waterways that you could get back and forth, right? Let's see here. He liked Dick.
That's a personal choice, good man. No judgment. No judgment.
It's actually a scene where it looks like a bunch of Action Force guys are jumping out of a Vanguard. Okay, now we got.
Okay, I gotta see it now.
Now I'm like, all right, guess what? Andrew,
that would be so hilarious if that car company was licensed in that movie to put their vehicles in it, and they actually use their vehicle. Oh, that would be even better. And they had the beekeeper symbol on it.
Oh man! All right, so we'll get into what we're going to talk about today.
We know, we know, Travis. We know you've been around for others. It's a joke.
Okay, calm down. All right, dude. All right, man. It's right. Man, you and Travis. I can't wait to room with Travis at Joe Fest. That's not this Travis, the other Travis. Only half of the travesties. Me and Romo and the other travesty. So it's going to be interesting. So anyway, I came up with the idea, and Matthew and I have discussed what we want to do, and we've discussed to do a movie is very, very time consuming. Way more than either one of us thought that it was going to be. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. I knew it would be a lot, but no, it's making all the slides and all that stuff.
Yeah, and again, like we're not making money off this, so it's just we're not making money off this. So it's like it's all your time that you take away from your family or other things that you could be doing normally on the weekends, right? So I brought the idea up after we did the Christmas movies. Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna pick a genre or some sort of category, count them down to see what we think is the best, and that's the movie that we'll talk about. Unless we both really hate it, and then I don't know why we would pick number one. So so honestly, while I was on Oz's and Matthew was in the stream, I came up with this idea, and Matthew heard about it while everyone else was on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank the movies that have professional wrestlers in them. Now again, we don't make money. All right. This is not paid for. So the rules were set by me. All right. um, it's not going to have any of the current, like if they've left wrestling and they're full time actors now. Okay. So all the Rock's movies, Cena's movies right now, Batista's movies, they're not in there. Don't give me this whole Jesse Ventura or the King. They weren't wrestling. It's people that have something to do with wrestling, and they're not little cameos. I want them to actually be. I actually wanted them to be pivotal in the movie. So, if someone calls in and says, or calls in, I don't have phone lines yet. If someone says, "Hey, you know what? Why wasn't Spider-Man, the Macho Man, and Spider-Man?" Because it was such a small little part. It didn't really have anything to do with it. So, and you guys get to vote along. It's not just what Matthew and I say. You guys get to decide, and we're just gonna go. You know what? Pick things out, and we'll move things up and down as you guys agree. So, the first movie, and these are in no order other than whatever. When I saved the picture, how they went in, I just threw them into the PowerPoint. So, the first movie is The Longest Yard. And I'm going to let you guys decide on this one because I have never seen this movie. But I do know that Bill Goldberg and Steve Austin are both in it. And according to what everyone said, they're pretty pivotal in it. So
it's a good movie. I enjoy it, but you know, it's going to be tops because it's right here, but there's going to be other ones that are better than it. It's a great football movie.
It kind of sucks. You guys can all see what's coming up next. Not that it really matters because, but yeah, I've heard good things about it. I haven't really heard anything bad about it. Even as a remake, people didn't seem to be too upset about it.
Yeah.
To the point I had to ask, how much is Austin in it, and they said he was actually pretty pivotal. There's 18 on the list, Mr. Wonderful. So I think we'll start here, and 17. There's 18 on the list. I just added a few. So this is number one because it's the first one.
Yep.
But do you have anything to say about it?
No, I mean, it was a fun movie. I liked it. It's not a great movie, but like I said, it was fun.
Okay. Anything stand out in the movie?
No.
All right. All right. So we'll move on to the next movie. And that is Jim Carrey's Man on the Moon.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, this is a strange one.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Jerry Lawler plays himself.
Yep.
But it's not a wrestling movie as much as it is a
Andy Kaufman. Yeah, it's all about Andy Kaufman, and it's really interesting the way that Jim Carrey plays the role. But yeah, I didn't even remember Lawler was in it.
Yeah, because he had such a feud with him. Now, I also have to mention I did not put any wrestling movies on here. So, like The Wrestler, not on here because this is weird. I'm saying this now. They're just kind of playing themselves. Although Jerry the King Lawler, who has never changed, he's like Ric Flair. They look the exact same. But again, very pivotal. I haven't seen this movie more than once, I believe. I remember liking it. I think when Jim Carrey puts his mind to something, he does a really good job.
He's a transformative type of actor.
Yeah. And I know people think of him as Vera DeMilo. Um,
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, but everything. I mean, when he does something good, he does it really good. And yes,
Yep.
he's a character, and I know I feel like he can wear on people, but I just think for the most part, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
So for me, this would go above The Longest Yard.
Absolutely.
Okay. We are archaic here, so we use a PowerPoint and we just move things. Yes, Fire Marshal Bill is absolute. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind sitting here and doing like ranking, like, uh, no, well, not today, obviously, but doing like a ranking of in living color characters.
Oh man, A Living Color was so amazing when it came out. I had so much fun with that.
I have
And
met.
and
Oh,
he got sued so bad for Fire Marshal Bill.
did he really?
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow.
Fire Marshal Bill was not happy that he was being represented in that way, and so he sued him, and then he became Fire Marshal Bob.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that. Um, but yeah. So they I was never into Saturday Night Live. I liked Kids in the Hall.
Oh,
Although
I
I don't
loved
remember
Kids in the Hall.
although I don't remember anything about Kids in the Hall other than These Are the Days I Know. Uh,
I remember the characters. I remember the actors that were on that show, and I
I remember
love
the
seeing
actor.
them when they pop up in other stuff. Um, they were so funny together as a group. I enjoyed them more than Saturday Night Live, but I also liked SCTV better than Saturday Night Live.
What was SCTV?
It was the Canadian Saturday Night Live
Oh,
type
I
of
never
show.
watched that.
Rick Moranis was on it, and they would play the guys in the flannels at the ice fishing hole, saying "a" all the time, drinking their Molson all the time, and talking about having some syrup on everything.
War Chest says, "Do you remember the Frantics Four on the floor?"
Sounds familiar. I can't
Yeah.
place it though.
Oh well. Okay. I never
Strange
watched
group.
Mad. I never watched Mad TV. I could not. I mean, I've at least seen like parts of Saturday Night Live, and I haven't watched some of it. I don't think I've ever watched any of Mad TV.
I tried to watch Mad TV. It was garbage. Compared to In Living Color, compared to Saturday Night Live, compared to SCTV or Kids in the Hall, Mad TV was trash. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't either. And I do know that's where uh the guy that does all the voices like Madden and stuff comes from. But I don't remember ever watching anything on Mad TV and thinking that it was good. But again, I didn't think I watched all that much. It was In Living Color was the one. I'm glad that
Yeah.
we're onto this now.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, we moved this. So this is one that a lot of this got talked about on Oz's stream. Kane See No Evil. Now I believe that I saw this. It is a horror movie. And let's be honest, this was one of the WWF films at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's a horror movie, and I don't think you could have picked a better person off the roster to be a psycho killer
Right.
than this big guy. I mean, The Undertaker is one thing a as a character, but when you take everything off, he's not nearly as scary looking as the mayor of a city in Tennessee, I believe. A very conservative mayor in Tennessee. um, okay, so Mr. Wonderful, who isn't playing along, and he's saying he likes Magic Mike more than this. So, all right, Mr. Wonderful. Uh,
Hey, I did see the mayor of Kingstown is filming again. Jeremy Renner was on site, so
oh,
yay.
is he back from
Yeah.
his? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the mayor of Knoxville, is he? I don't think it's Knoxville. I think it's a small town around there. Knoxville's a pretty big city. I couldn't imagine.
I
could be
do
wrong.
love Phil. I do love Phil Lamar. Yes, that's the guy you were thinking of. Phil Lamar is great. I just couldn't stand Mad TV.
What? Wait a minute. War Chest is saying you've never seen Kane or you've never seen this movie. You've seen Kane before. I mean, hell, I'm looking at your picture. You kind of look like him. Your profile, the big red machine, man. Like you know him if you saw him. Like if you can't think of who he is, you would know him just by how popular he was. But anyway, I would leave this behind The Longest Yard, even though I've never seen The Longest Yard. What would you say?
I have never seen this movie. I never had a desire to see this movie. I knew it was a wrestling horror movie, and I'm like, meh, not interested. I have no real opinion of it one way or the other. I don't know anything about it.
I want to say this was the second WWF movie that came out. And since it was such a horror movie, it's Dr. Isaac Yakum. That's right. And don't forget the fake Diesel. So yeah, it got pushed out again. I don't think anyone from here is going to be running to watch it, but we'll leave this at number 3 right now. And I'm fine with that. The Princess Bride. I'm going to let you talk about it. I've recently watched it, like in the past year or so.
Yeah.
So I've never watched it all the way through until recently.
I love this movie. My wife and I have cosplays for Wesley and Buttercup. We dressed our kid up as Buttercup's baby when we went and met Carrie Ellis one time. He got a big kick out of that. So many great stories. Andre the Giant is hilarious in this. He just plays the big dumb oaf, but he's really smart. He's not as dumb as you think he is. He just does it so well. And the fact that he couldn't lift 50 pounds because of his back problems when he's making this movie, and the fact that he had a little ATV that he convinced Carrie Ellis to get on it and ride it around, and as soon as he stepped on it, he broke his foot, which led to one of the greatest scenes in the entire movie, in my opinion, because as a kid, I thought it was the coolest move ever. He does a single leg squat as he sticks one leg straight out and does a single leg squat to sit down on the tree next to Buttercup as they're sitting there talking. And I thought it was the coolest, smoothest move I had ever seen. And he did it solely because he didn't want to let Rob Reiner know that he broke his foot on Andre's ATV. Oh, and wow. he was in so much pain. He thought he was going to get kicked off the movie for it. I love this movie, and the rhyming sequence, the interaction and interplay between all of them was on fire. Billy Crystal, Christopher Guest, all of them. Out of all these movies, that's going to be number 1 for right now on my list.
Yeah. So I can say this. This movie here is not one of my favorite movies, but I think it's really good. And what I mean by that is that it's not something that I would pop it and play and just watch on my own. But I think that what you said, their chemistry is absolutely amazing. It's a movie that goes between being a comedy and a real movie all at once.
Mm-hmm.
The fight scenes are really good.
Greatest sword fight scene ever filmed.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, I really do like the movie as a movie. Like I said, it's just not my type of movie. I think this is how Indiana Jones would be for me if I ever saw it. Where I'd be like, it's a really good movie, but it's just not for me. Which, I mean, we've all had movies like that where it's like, oh, this is a good movie, but it's not something that that I would really want to watch. Now, I do have to go back here. Down South says this movie also blows. Now, are you talking about this or See No Evil? Because I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that they hate this movie. Wonderful. Same top 3.
Yeah, I'm curious as to that too. If you're saying Princess Bride was bad, because I don't know. I have so much fun with it. Okay. See No Evil is what he meant. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank God. All right.
So a little story. One of my favorite ones about Princess Bride is that sword fight scene. So Rob had it all scripted out, and Carrie worked with one sword master, and Inigo worked with the other one, and they got their parts down, and then they switched sword masters so that they could learn the other person's part. And then they started kind of riffing, and so they filmed the whole sword fight scene exactly as scripted. And Rob gets done and says, "Oh, that was amazing, guys. We need another minute to 2 minutes of footage here, though. You guys went through it too fast." And so he gave him a 30-minute break, and Carrie and Inigo, I can't think of his name right now, I don't know why, but made up the last minute of the sword fight in 30 minutes on their own based on what those sword masters taught them.
Oh, wow. So Andrew Davis asks, are you voting on the movie itself or the performance of the wrestler in the movie? The movie itself.
The movie.
Yeah. Again, if we did for the performance of it, I don't know how well we would do, because let's be honest, wrestlers aren't always the greatest actors.
Yeah, but I honestly think it would still come down to the same 2 or 3 movies that are going to be on the top 3, because I think they had great performances in there.
I'm with you. Let's say hi to B-Boy and Allison Troy. All right, so I think it's safe. We can move this right up to the top. Yep. I will say this: I literally I threw all these. I already had the pictures. I threw them all in the PowerPoint before I got on here, and I was happy when I looked at them, because the good ones weren't all at the beginning. I think when we did the Christmas movies, most of the good ones were right at the beginning. So Princess Bride goes up to number 1, and I knew that was going to be one of the top ones. Magic Mike. I've never seen this. I didn't realize there was a wrestler in it, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people on Oz's show knew that I think Kevin Nash has a big part in it. So, have you seen Magic Mike?
Does he have a big part in it? Sorry, I have not. I have not seen this. I know a lot of people like it. It is not my thing at all. Yeah, I'm not keen on this one.
So Allison says Magic Mike is the best with the volume off.
So you don't have to hear their voices. Yeah, I get it, Allison. Yeah, no.
I think
that's the way I watch porn too.
When you have kids, that's how you have to watch it.
You're right.
I'm so happy when I don't have kids here. I'm like, oh my God, there's sound to this. This is one of those ones, but since neither one of us have seen it, the one topic you suggested of one day doing top rom-com movies that we were made to watch that we actually liked. I could see this being, even I don't know if this is a rom-com or what this is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So Down South says the movie was surprisingly good. Again, I think it gets lumped in as a stripper movie when I don't think it's a stripper movie.
Well, the movie is about the lifestyle of male strippers, and for whatever that is, apparently it was done very well, from what I understand. But I think that I'd put it above See No Evil, but you know.
Yeah. So Aaron has offered for me on the way down to Joe Fest for that Thursday night to stay at his house in his spare bedroom, there's spare room, whatever. Aaron, I hope that if I do, your wife is not going to want me to show up shirtless with just a tie on. Although I've started my training to super kick Ken when we get there. So I would agree. Never seen it. That it would go above See No Evil. Is everyone okay with that? That it goes above See No Evil? I'm not gonna put it. Well, I've never seen it, so if you guys think it should go above the Longest Yard, or are we just okay with this being here? We'll see if I have abs by then. It's been a long time since I have abs. They're just hidden. All right. I own and operate a strip club for 15 years, and it's pretty legit. The women's side is even more crazy. At least the men stay sober and less problems. So all that I can say is that an old friend of mine, his ex brother in law owned a strip club, so I kind of know because the whole family kind of worked in there. But across the border in Canada, there's a place called Danny's, and I know once the girls turned 19, they almost all went over there. And the things that I heard, you're just like that. You can't do that. Like
Yeah.
that's cheating. That type of stuff is called cheating. So, yeah, I've never been to one, but I from what you said, I've kind of heard the same thing about that one. All right, so I believe this was the first WWF movie, maybe or one of the early ones. Have you ever seen The Marine?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was a terrible movie.
It surprisingly wasn't awful. I'm not gonna say that it was good. And it's been a long time since I've seen it, but basically you have a jacked up guy who will say that he's not on steroids, but we all know he is, um, doing fight scenes. I think that's something that Arnold Schwarzenegger made famous, right?
Right.
Um, what do you guys think of The Marine? Please, someone tell me they've seen The Marine other than us, because it's been a long time. I remember the girl being super hot.
Yeah, I barely remember it, but I remember not liking it very much when I saw it. But that's neither here nor there.
I do not have the Walking Tall. I don't have Walking Tall on here because I believe that he was well done as being a full-time professional wrestler. He was a
Yeah.
I mean, they had Johnny Knoxville and I didn't even know it was a WWF movie.
I did like both versions of Walking Tall.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I did like that one. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful, I agree. I mean, it was just I think that's a good way to think about it.
It was one of those movies where if you watched it, you're like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But it's also not like a movie that you're going to be like, you know what? Wish I would have seen it at the movie theater. You know?
Yeah.
So War Chest says, I didn't think it was good, but a good movie for him to get his feet wet. You know what? That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's probably a good analogy. Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna say this, and we haven't got to any yet. It's better than the Hulk Hogan movies that he did.
Yes.
Not the first one that we'll get to.
Yes.
Not that first one that he did, but the other ones.
And no, Gremlins doesn't count.
And Gremlins is out. Like, I did not put that in here. So I saw The Marine, but I remember nothing about it. I just remember there was a really hot girl. I mean, go figure, right?
Yeah.
Some jacked up dude that's a former Marine gets a real hot girl. Shocker, right? Once again, that whole like, oh, girls love dad bods. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit. They only say that because their boyfriend or husband has a dad bod. They don't really want that. All right.
Right.
I would say this goes above See No Evil.
Yes.
Which is not getting much love right now.
Yeah.
Probably for good reason. But damn, look at those arms, man. Like, those things are just jacked, all right? I mean, hell, when you can see your traps through a shirt, and I mean, I know the guy tells me, right? He tells everyone that he's not on steroids, just like The Rock. Now, don't get me wrong. If either one of them were here, I'd say, yes, you're right. I don't believe you've ever done it. And then when they walk away, I'd be like, bullshit. I'd be like, bullshit. Bullshit. All right. So I'm going to let you go with this one.
What? Which one is this? I can't see
Mr.
that.
Nanny.
Mr. Nanny. Yeah. No.
Have you seen it?
No.
Neither have I. I mean, I know it because he's in a tutu, making bicep poses, and you can tell this is later on because he's not nearly as big as he was. He does not have the 24-inch pythons here.
Nope. I can't believe it was made in the 90s. Yeah, no, I was way too old to see that movie, I think.
And Mort just says Hawks movies were so bad.
Yeah.
But I liked Thunder in Paradise. it was Baywatch with guns. All right.
I would put that at the very bottom of the list at this point.
Okay, I don't know. The Marine beat up Sean Petty pretty bad. Who was Sean? Okay, so Mr. Wonderful says it was a rider of Mrs. Doubtfire. Mr. Wonderful says it was bad. I feel like Mr. Wonderful may have been the only one to see Mr. Nanny here.
Yeah.
And he says I'd still put this above See No Evil. I'm probably with you on that. Again, I saw See No Evil, and I remember nothing about it. Let's see. Thunder cracked me up. He looked like a bounty hunter from Ice Pirates.
Perfect. Love Ice Pirates. That's a great movie.
Thunder in Paradise, which I believe was filmed at the MGM lot. Oh, but that was real. Now I'm putting it together. Yes, Shawn Michaels really got his ass beat, while the other wrestlers were too wasted to fucking help him out. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's not funny, but it kind of is. And down south is he's with us. I don't think I've ever saw Mr. Nanny for obvious reasons. Yeah, I don't know who saw this. Like, I don't think kids were dragging. I don't think kids were dragging their parents to see it. I don't think parents were like making their kids go see it. So we'll put this above See No Evil. Does anyone have a problem with that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Care.
Mr. Wonderful did. I think there might be a few of those. I don't care on here. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful, but you also thought that Star Wars was a ripoff of Spaceballs. So once again, your opinion isn't always the highest. All right. So next on the list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Now, I don't really remember this movie because I was never a Turtles guy.
I had fun with this movie. The first movie was so much better, but I still love the ninja rap. Ernie Reyes Jr. is a legit martial arts kid, grew up doing it forever. So
now I'm singing it, damn it. So I put this in here because Kevin Nash is Super Shredder throughout a good amount of the movie, from what I understand. Again, I didn't.
Super Shredder was only in it for a little bit.
But he's a pivotal. I don't know, dude.
It was the final boss fight scene. It was the final transformation. It was a short little thing, but
I kind of remember it. Listen, I needed to fill some movies in here.
I was looking at some others. I thought, wasn't there a wrestler in that one? No, he was just a martial arts guy. That's where I know him from.
Oh. Yeah, there's a few that you start getting mixed up, or guys that you get mixed up because they show up in wrestling for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an actor that decided to show up in wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Wonderful, Super Shredder was the final boss scene. Less than 5 minutes, but key space. Okay, well, listen, he made it on here. All right.
I would put this movie right below Princess Bride at this point.
Ooh, above Man on the Moon.
Yeah, because I have more of a connection, and I would rewatch the second Turtles movie more before I'd watch Man on the Moon again.
Whew. Well, I'm gonna let's have you guys decide. Like, I mean, I would put it after Man on the Moon for sure. But I'm also not like I don't have a strong feeling on it. I'll be 100%. I'm not gonna be mad either way. Viper Scout says there was a TV show where Ernie Reyes Jr. was adopted by a cop. I remember seeing one episode and it was awesome, but I can't remember any details of the name of the show. There's a thing called IMDb, and you can
Yep.
find this stuff out.
Ernie's he's a good guy. I actually met him this past fall. Martial arts stuff, but yeah, he's pretty cool.
So Mr. Wonderful is saying below it. Down south is saying number 4, which would be behind the longest yard.
I'm good with anything below Princess Bride at this point.
Sidekicks. I remember that.
So, you know what? We just rewatched that movie because we were watching Sequest and we wanted to watch another movie with that kid in it and had Chuck Norris and martial arts. And my daughter got really into it with all the fantasy stuff. That was a fun movie.
All right. Well, since everyone seems to know Go Ninja, we will put it just below The Princess Bride. Now, I do have to say, I happen to have Vanilla Ice interview up. I watched like last week, and a lot of stuff he says is fascinating. At the same time, he kind of reminds me of Brian Flynn, and I think a lot of stuff that comes out of his mouth is bullshit.
Yep.
But I do find a lot of what he says very interesting and what he has talked about. But at the same time, it's like I'm not sure what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
All right. So, Predator. Obviously, the wrestler in this was not the star of it, but he's very pivotal.
Oh, so yeah, I didn't know there was a TV show called Sidekicks. I just remembered the movie.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. So, again, Jesse Ventura was not the main star. He was very pivotal. Some great lines, some great scenes. One of the few people that could walk around with that big giant minigun.
He was the first person to ever do it on film.
Yes. And it is the same minigun that they use in Terminator 2.
Yep.
And luckily Arnold was actually able to lift it because I guess no one else could.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. For me, this one would go right to number 1 because I absolutely love this movie.
It's a great movie. I enjoy so many aspects of it. The character development with each person in the Special Forces team. It's one of the best G.I. Joe movies that's ever been made, not called G.I. Joe.
I agree.
You had the native woman and all the military stuff, and just every character in there played their part really well. I'm so glad Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't in that Red Lobster suit.
Oh, I would have killed it.
It would have destroyed that thing. The way they did the thermal graphics, the way they did the sound, there's so many great things about that. And I'm okay with putting it above Princess Bride.
So this was one of the movies I remember my dad taking me to. This was the first rated R movie that I went to. And again, why was it rated R? Like it's like I mean, even the scenes where they're skinned, it's not even that graphic, not like what you see today.
We ain't talking about box office, Mr. Wonderful. We're talking about longevity. How many more people talk about Predator than The Longest Yard? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
How many more NECA toys are made for Predator? Oh, wait.
I love this movie. This is one of my. I think this is one of Arnold's best movies.
I agree.
I mean, you have obviously the Terminator.
Yeah, but he
The
actually gets to
Predator.
act in this movie. You know, I mean, he wasn't really acting in Commando either. He was just playing the big tough guy. This one, there's actually stuff that he does.
And I love Commando. It's one of my one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies he's done. But if you said, "Hey, what are his best movies?" It's Predator, it's Terminator, Terminator 2. It's stuff like that. Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
I like Everyone says Kindergarten Cop is awesome. Yeah.
True Lies. I like True Lies.
True Lies is awesome. That is such an underrated movie. And the fact they never did a sequel is that should have had a sequel.
Yeah.
Top movie, I just watched it again about 3 weeks ago. I wish they would have done a follow-up. Also, I think they're saying the girl from Prey is Billy's great granddaughter. It could possibly be. I mean, I didn't really like Predator 2. I didn't like Predators. I didn't like The Predator.
You mean grandmother, not granddaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Because Prey takes place in the past.
Yes. But until they came out with Prey, and I just didn't like Predator 2. I don't think it was bad because it was completely different. It was kind of like what they did from Die Hard to Die Hard 3, where they completely changed the script.
Yeah, well, and you kind of have to do that with a character to show some growth and stuff. I liked Predator 2 quite a bit because of the final scene when they connect the Predator and Alien universes.
Yes. But for me, even as a kid, I'm not going to say it. I liked the guys that looked tough. Right? I ain't going to say something because I'll never hear the end of it.
Clip it.
I like professional wrestling. I obviously got into bodybuilding, so you can put 2 and 2 together. But to me, I think this is, the number one movie.
Yeah. I mean, and you had all those guys in there, and they all, like I said, they were all well-developed characters in their own, even with as minimal screen time as they had. As a character movie, a team movie, an action movie. I mean, this is one that tops them all in so many ways. So many different movies. So I'll put it up top.
It's a military movie, a sci-fi movie, an action movie. And again, the character development, like you said, was really good. Like, it's not like, oh, it's 6 schmoes and then, Arnold. That's what Commando was. Guys that just get wiped out right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then Superman with his log on his arm and his chainsaw. Which, let's be honest, he should have wiped out the Predator way easier than what he did. At least Matrix would have.
Yeah, if he was playing Matrix, he'd just throw a tree at him. He wouldn't need to tie him up to ropes and try to set a trap. He'd just throw the whole tree at him.
So what do you guys think? Number 1 or number 2? We'll let you guys kind of decide on this one. Matthew says 2. I would say 1. Are you guys still listening? I know I saw a couple people say 1. Ed says number 2. Aaron says number 1. Trying to think. I thought I saw War Chest say
Wonderful says 2. Travis says 2.
Travis D says 2. Man, this is like just a. Command Matrix killed 88 people on screen, not counting how many died in the explosions. That was the second movie that we did. That was the second movie that we did.
Yep, that was fun.
It's still one of the most fun ones because it's so outrageous.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this is really. I I think what we might have to do is maybe take the top. We might have to take the top 5 and put it in a poll
Yep.
and decide and let it go for like till next weekend
Yeah.
because
It's going to be a tough choice
all
because
right.
you know what? I love Princess Bride, but I would actually put Predator above Princess Bride in this scenario. But I love both those movies so much.
Yeah, and that's why I think we should probably do a vote on it. I think
Okay.
that works.
Yeah.
So we'll. I think
So
it's
you have
like
it. You have a tag team match set up. Is that what I hear is going on at Joe Fest now?
uh, well, I don't. I mean, is Mister Wonderful showing up? Because he was my tag team partner against Ken for sure. But listen, I'm taking a one-on-one against Ken. All right. I hope he shows up with his sunglasses. Uh, I'm sorry, with Brett's sunglasses.
That's not a bad idea either.
Um, oof. The problem is there's some other movies that aren't as good, but they are good.
Yeah.
So, and we're about to hit that one,
Yeah.
and that is No Holds Barred. All right. Do you have anything to say about this?
Not a lot. I don't remember it too well. I remember it was fun, but I don't remember it real well.
So, when it was shortly after my mom passed away, we went to Florida, and I remember we saw this in Florida. It was me and my dad and my sister, and my dad making jokes that there's only 12 people in the theater. Um, and this movie is so bad that it's good. And so this to me is the first one that we look at and we're going to be like, okay, it's not nearly 1, 2, or 3, or it shouldn't. It
Right.
shouldn't,
Yeah.
but it is. Hulk Hogan plays himself for the most part. Zeus, who I did not put him uh, at all. He is an actor that became a wrestler. If you want to hear some funny stuff, you can listen to Something to Wrestle About with Bruce Pritchard, and he talks about when they brought him in to wrestle, and he didn't understand. He didn't understand that it wasn't real. He didn't understand that he had to listen, and he couldn't hear anything. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, he was just a mess. Hulk Hogan throws a very heavy dumbbell across the gym, if I remember correctly. If anyone's ever held a heavy dumbbell, you ain't throwing it unless unless you unless you're Matrix. All right, if you're Matrix, um, there's the Dookie line in this. Um, it was just bad, but so bad that it's good. So this is the type of movie that in the past, like when we started, we said we're gonna do that. We're gonna like break down, just make jokes about it.
Yep.
But things have kind of changed, right? I think things have kind of changed with this.
Yeah, it may have, but we can still go back to that other formula and do this movie sometime.
Oh yeah. Um, but what do you guys think? Let's see. So I'm running all these into a comp site. NHB, in my opinion, is the best of all you've listed, but ranking wise, it's second worst only by Mr. Nanny. Um, see here, like Andrew Davis, No Holds Barred is the winner, hands down. So, as a wrestler in a movie so far, it might be, but as a movie, I can say by far is not the best movie. So we kind of have to encompass everything, right? Um, what do you think?
Uh,
If we stroll up here and kind of look at what we have, I cannot put it above 1 or 2 for sure.
no. What's number 3?
Turtles.
And then Man on the Moon is after that.
Yeah.
I'd put it after Man on the Moon.
See, I would put it before Turtles, but I have like you said, a connection to it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Do I think it's a good movie? No. Do I think it's so bad that it becomes good? Yes. You're just gonna have to wait and see. War Chest, don't get ahead of yourselves, all right?
You know we're gonna move it here soon. I mean, it's in here. You have to know it's in here.
Like I said, I'm glad that when I threw all the slides in, see, that they weren't all the good ones just lumped up at the top. I would personally put it at number 3. You say 4. I'm not overly upset over either. But what do you guys say? 3, 4, 5? Oh, dude, don't worry. Nothing to be sorry about. What do you guys think? Oh, so Ed is saying number 5. So Ed is saying behind Man on the Moon. And what's wonderful is disagreeing. I'm gonna have to Predator ahead of. Okay. No, it's not. It could be. It is by far his best standalone movie. All right, and it is awful. All right, and it is absolutely awful. But I don't think that there is any denying that it is by far his best standalone movie. There's only 3. I don't think I could take any more. There's only so much that really stand out. And Thunder in Paradise was a TV show, and Rocky he was just a bit.
Yeah,
right,
that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. It's like then we'd have to include Gremlins on the list and stuff like that. That wasn't his role. Mr. T had a role, but
I'm going to say 4.
Okay.
At work.
Yep.
All right. Again, because it's so bad that it's good.
Gotta love it. Gotta love that.
I love this movie.
This movie is so awesome. There's so many great things about this movie.
So this is a movie that is. I can't say that it's so bad that it's good, but it's so average that it's awesome. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Wade, we talked about it when we reviewed it. That guy who played the Super Shredder, who was it again? It was Ken.
Diesel.
Okay.
Kevin Nash.
Okay, yeah, Kevin Nash. That's it.
Don't worry, that one's gonna get pushed down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Ed's already coming in number 3 for sure. I don't think I can argue that right now.
No, I can't argue that either. From where our list is currently.
Yeah, no, not right now. You watched No Holds Barred as a kid. Your opinion of it is different now. Oh no, we thought it was bad as a kid. I mean, I told you my dad was making jokes about only 12 people being in the to watch the whole place or to watch the movie. Okay, so Roadhouse gets thrown in here because if you guys don't know, why am I drawing a blank? Terry Funk is in it. He's not one of the main characters, but he does play a pretty pivotal role. He starts off at the double douche, and then he moves on to be one of the main bad guys.
Yeah,
who gets beat up by Wade Wilson, right? Not is it Wade? No, Garrett.
Garrett. Yeah, Garrett. No.
Who unfortunately, as much as I love that actor, what's his name? Mike, I didn't think of his name.
Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott. As much as I love Sam Elliott, it is the first time that we see that guy does not know how to fight at all.
For being a Texas Cowboy, you think he'd throw some more punches.
You think that he would not do this. I've never seen someone who can actually fight. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, it hurts me to watch you. Like that voice took away
you,
from
sir, have never been in a real fight. How can you tell?
Now, I love this movie. If it is on, I stop and I watch it. It is a movie that you'll see it on whatever streaming service, and you'll be like, I'm just gonna watch this. Because there's no slow parts in it, there's no bad parts in it, there's boobies in it, there is Cobra Commander in it, Starscream is in it.
Yep.
Did we do this movie? We did this movie.
We did this movie, yeah.
So we can't vote on this one no matter what.
Yeah. We already did it.
I forgot that we did this movie. So I brought up Starscream because that's when I found out that
Chris Latta was in the movie.
Yeah, some small bit, and it's like this fucking Cobra Commander. What the fuck? Like,
and
all these years I've watched
that crappy ass role. And
Funk was one of my favorite wrestlers. I was never a big Terry Funk fan at the time, but you realize how influential he is in wrestling for what he did.
Yeah.
Wow, I have not seen Over the Top in a long time.
Oh man, I was wondering if that was going to be on the list, but I didn't think there were any wrestlers in it. Over the Top is such a cheesy movie.
All I remember is he's losing, and then his son yells for him, and he turns his hat backwards, and then all of a sudden he wins, and I'm like,
wait, no, he turns his hat backwards and goes over the top and wins.
For a good Buick call. I believe that this was highlighted in our episode.
Yep.
Which was so bad. I like this movie. I just in general.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie. It doesn't deserve any awards other than maybe the most played movie ever.
I think that might go to Fifth Element because that's like always playing, and I love that movie too. But
I don't even think it's close. I don't remember seeing the Fifth Element all that much, but this movie I remember.
I just see the Fifth Element's always on TV right now.
Well, I don't even watch TV now, so I don't know.
Nobody does.
I think Roadhouse should get 2 to 3 spots behind See No Evil. Okay, well, you would.
Who is this Travis, Mr. Wonderful guy? Why does he think he's Mr. Wonderful? What? Have you no taste in movies?
No, he doesn't. He does not.
Clearly, Spaceballs.
He is a former independent professional wrestler who goes by Mr. Wonderful, but has nothing to do with Mr. Wonderful. Didn't even. I was going to say
because he wasn't Mr. Wonderful.
No, I assumed when he knew all this stuff about wrestling that he chose that name for a reason. He's like, no, not at all. I didn't even really watch him because I'm not of that age. Are you serious? Paul Orndorff should come over and kick your ass just for that.
Hey, stolen valor.
Warchest says they should remake Over the Top, but make it a new slapping game. Have going on. All genders welcome. I cannot watch that stuff.
Which one?
Those slap games.
Oh yeah,
I can't watch it, dude. Like I just it seems kind of comical at first until you start seeing their face start to puff up. And as you as a doctor can probably tell you how many bad things that is actually happening there, right?
Right.
I mean, it is your face too.
Yeah.
Right? We're not even talking about like how red can your shoulder get so you can't take it anymore. Their faces are puffed out.
Yep.
They look worse than boxers after they get their ass beat.
Yep.
I don't get it. So
Yeah.
so
It was Mr. Wonderful, Travis. That name was given to you. You say you've used it better. The other guy's a knockoff. Yeah, well,
he did explain it. I believe when he was on Thursday with a friend.
yeah,
Where it came from. I call BS on it. He tried to steal Mr. Wonderful's gimmick. Realized he's not as good as Mr. Wonderful, so he dropped the E. So now he's just DRFURL.
I don't know where do you want to put this one?
So looking at this, I got to put it number 3.
I agree.
I don't think it will stay there, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Turtles.
Yep.
No Holds Barred. I mean, of all these movies, like I said, these two, 2 and 3 are the ones that I would stop and watch.
Yeah.
Princess Bride, I might watch some of the stuff, especially the fight scenes. Princess Bride, I'd sit down and watch just to be like, hey, I want to watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. No Holds Barred, I would stop and watch it. I watched it not too long ago.
Yeah.
All right. Blade 3 or Trinity. Now, again, Triple H is in this. He plays a pivotal role, but not one of the stars. I like this movie.
Oh no.
I liked all the Blades.
You know what? There was something charming about every one of them, but this was such a shit show.
It was not as good as 1 or 2. I will give you that. The new vampire thing was kind of ridiculous, but you also kind of understand what they were going for.
I think it's one of the first things that Ryan Reynolds did that was big. I think.
What? 2 men, a pizza place, and a girl, or one girl.
Yeah, whatever.
Place.
Yeah, this was a movie though, so it was
yes.
It was movie breakout piece.
Well, this was the first movie that I remember seeing him, and you're like, damn, that guy's in great shape. All the Blade movies. We could talk about Marvel and how you could not have cast Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow any better.
Yeah, no, they did a great job with that. And Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade was perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And, tax evasion aside,
I do think one of the funniest things that Wesley ever got to do was, I think it was Expendables 3, when the team had to come in and break him out of prison on a train for tax evasion.
Oh, really?
That was his first movie back after he got out of prison, was the Expendables 3, when they broke him out of prison for tax evasion.
I've never seen the Expendables.
Oh,
and it makes no sense because it's everything I wanted as a kid in a movie. All these big actors doing it, and that's exactly why they did it. But I've never sat down and watched them.
So I would say that. So the second one, my mom's boyfriend is a Rokon dealer for the motorcycle, and he said, "I heard there was a Rokon in Expendables 2. I want to see it." And he says he watches it, and he's like, "A Rokon can't do that. It's a 2-wheel drive motorcycle. It's really crazy built." But in any case, my mom was totally engaged in the movie, and she was like, "I want to watch the rest of it. I want to see the end of it." My mom falls asleep in every movie she's ever been in, except for The Abyss and The Expendables 2. I don't know.
That is awesome. I like the Blade movies, and I like Blade Trinity. Again, not as good as the other two. It was kind of quirky, but every time you can see Wesley Snipes as Blade, you're like,
Yeah. What ruined this movie really for me was this was peak Wesley Snipes arrogance. He was
Yeah.
such an asshole on set. He kind of ruined the movie for me because he didn't get to do some of the things that he should have done because he said, "Oh, I'm not doing that" or whatever. But I love the first two Blade movies. This one, it's meh for me.
Okay, I'm gonna say, listen, I was a Jessica Biel fan before people started falling in love with her. She was she was like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, people noticed like, oh my god, she's super hot,
Yep.
and she doesn't show like she. I don't think she's done any nude scenes, but she does enough being in like bra and panties that it makes your mind think and makes you want to watch it more.
Yeah.
And she's one of those ones. You know, I know we talked about Jennifer's how we went down that rabbit hole. Jessica's are the same way.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba, extremely hot. Jessica Biel. Maybe it's the Jays. I don't know. But okay, so where would we put this?
She has played a stripper before. I remember that, and I remember watching it for that specific reason.
Well, we have to finish it by midnight tonight because I do have work in the morning, and obviously I have some Googling to do.
So yeah, she was. She sure was.
I did not see that. I'm not a horror fan, so
yeah. I gotta put this above Man on the Moon, I guess.
You think above Man on the Moon? What about No Holds Barred?
Yeah.
TMNT?
No.
Anyone have any disagreements with that? Just gonna move it on up here. That works because there's still someone that are gonna push it down. I'm assuming.
Mr. Wonderful really loves Man on the Moon, huh? Or
you know what? Because it's about wrestling. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've never told you about the old man. Have I ever told you about the guy that used to be the moderator of my wrestling forums on my old sports message board?
No. Ed, we really need to do some more streams together, man. We agree on so much stuff. I dig your mojo, man.
So since this is there is no better time, I guess we're gonna stop and I'm gonna tell a little story.
Story time with Lawrence.
Kind of scares me because Mr. Wonderful might be this guy. So anyway, I used to run a sports message board. I posted so much on the old message board of these sports station. They made me the moderator, and then when it looked like they were about to get shut down, I had started my own. So I ran a Detroit sports message board for about 10 years. I had my own, and I had a wrestling section. And there's this one guy. He would do tournaments, right, all by himself. He would make it all up, and there's honestly like maybe 10 people that would like go in there and vote. He loved doing it, right? Really weird guy. Loved Bret Hart. Actually, his name was Hitman on the forums. So, I have it, and he actually doesn't live. He actually lived in these condos that one of my best friends growing up did, and so I'm in a group chat with 3 guys that I met through this message board. And a few years ago, it would have been during COVID, all of a sudden I get a text in this group. Holy shit. And it's an article. He fucking murdered his girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Okay? He murdered his fucking girlfriend. And he strangled her. And she was in the basement for about 6 months.
Oh.
And anyone that wants to message me, I will send you the links that I have. It's oh my God, and so he's he was like taking care of his dad, but then for some odd reason, crazy, the other siblings didn't want him taking care of them. Oh my God, come to find out. So when they went over there to get stuff, he wasn't there. The sister wouldn't even go in because the place was so disgusting. So I think her husband and his brother went in and they saw a body in the basement. He had started to cut the skin off the back. It had been there for like 6 months. So I'm friends with the guy on Facebook. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I'm weird. I can't get rid of the killer. People, the first year we found it out, everyone was like wishing my happy birthday. He's in prison, right? And I'm like, you guys do know what he did. All of a sudden, people are like, you see like all the names are disappearing from it. So I still have to figure out. I know like he pleaded guilty to it.
No, we're not going to say his name. We're not going to say his name right now.
Yeah. Like I said, you can message me. I'll send you everything. So I remember I went like, so there's a timeline of when she died, right? I go back and I'm looking at his Facebook shit, right? And I'm like, dude, he's talking about like, oh, WrestleMania here or SummerSlam, right? He's watching all these like Raw tonight. I'm like, you have a fucking dead body in your basement. You murdered this fucking woman. And here you are just sitting on the couch watching wrestling. What goes through your mind? Like, what is going through your mind?
There's a complete disconnect there. That's a sociopath.
Yeah. And then to think you sit here and you're like, you sit there and you're like, this shit is fucking crazy. He moderated my, oh shit. My phone is updating. Yes, Mr. Wonderful. You figured it out. Yes, in Clinton Township. He must have lived right around the corner from, not at the time, but right around the corner from where my buddy's mom lives still.
Wow.
And one of the last messages he had sent me was a joke about Chris Benoit murdering his family.
Oh my God.
How? And that's why I was going to pull it up. I forget. My phone it literally decided to update, so I can't pull it up. It was weird. Like, oh my, like, and again, I hadn't talked to him in years, right?
Right.
But just to like, I think Mr. Wonderful has found it. Yeah. Anyway, that just came up because, yeah, we're talking wrestling and but yeah, but I cannot. Yes, I know we're friends. And I know I can't. I've made comments about it too, and I'm like, I hope he never gets a Facebook back because I don't want to come after me.
Dude, you should not just no. No.
Yeah, so it's just okay. Anyway, so that's my little story about and I've never met the guy. So if anyone, I just made him my moderator. But when this group text that you're in, you get a message going, "What the fuck?" and you're like, and there's a lot of different things that we have sick jokes about. I'll get into it another day. About Chris Benoit, all right? There's a guy on YouTube that made some really fucking weird ass YouTube shit about Chris Benoit, and it's so bad that I'm going to hell from laughing at it. All right. So on to the next movie, which is Mr. Nanny. I think I killed the stream.
Yeah.
People are like, why are we going to watch this now?
Why are we doing? Yeah. Suburban Commando. I remember the title. I don't remember the movie that well.
I would say that I will put this right above Mr. Nanny only because there's a kid on a skateboard. I've never seen this movie.
Yeah, that's a good place to put it, probably.
I've never seen this movie. I do know that The Undertaker is in this.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I only know that because I watched an interview with the Undertaker where he talked about it. Does anyone have any thoughts about Suburban Commando? Does anyone have a problem with it being just below the Marine? I don't think John Cena has actually done a worse movie than Hulk Hogan, but No Holds Barred is just so bad that it's good.
Christopher Lloyd was in that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen it. I remember seeing previews for it, but I never remember watching it because again, it was a Hulk Hogan thing.
I do remember seeing previews for it. I'm with you on that. He's made such bad movies. He's made such awful, awful, awful movies. Like, again, No Holds Barred was only so. It was so bad because of the time that it came out, and then to hear his explanation on it and how he thought of it is even makes it even better.
All
So
right,
I think
I will tell you that I was just watching a little piece of it as it's on IMDb right now. I want to see this movie. It looks so bad. I want to see it. It looks so bad. I think I would enjoy watching it just for a laugh.
Viper Scout says the Undertaker died in an elevator.
Yep. No, but the skateboard scene where Hulk Hogan steps on it and falls on his ass and then chucks it 3 miles away.
I think I have seen that. Because is that the trailer that you're watching?
Yeah, it was just whatever's on IMDb. I was just watching part of it. And I was like, oh, I think I want to watch this movie. But yeah, I would put it above Mr. Nanny.
All right. Well, I don't think there's much more to say about it. All right. The Scorpion King. Now, this was The Rock's first full movie. This is not The Mummy 2 where he had a bit role. This was when he actually had his first movie.
Yep, this was his first title.
It is better than any Hulk Hogan movie.
What I can tell you about this movie is I did the unfortunate thing of joining one of those DVD clubs, like the CD club things that you get so many for a penny, whatever. And then you're forced to take whatever they give you sometimes if you don't select anything because the lists that they have are shit and they just forced to send you stuff. This is one of the movies that they sent me and I canceled my thing immediately. As soon as I got it, I did everything possible to cancel it because I got this movie and I'm like, I never even opened the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew how bad it was.
Or BMG. I couldn't remember them, and as soon as they came up, I'm like, "Yep, that's them."
Totally Columbia House. It was absolutely Columbia House. I remember that for a fact. And this is the one they sent me that I canceled everything on because I realized these movies suck, and I can't select decent things. As much as I love collecting physical media, this is going to be a shit show. I'm out. But yes, I never opened it, but I have seen it before. It is just fucking terrible. The graphics are terrible. The acting is terrible. Everything about this movie is fucking terrible. It's the bottom of the list for me.
I don't hate this movie. Now, did I think that this guy could beat The Rock? No. not a chance in hell, man. Was there a scene with the girl where she slides? I forget. She slides, and I slow motioned it many, 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 many times to see what I could see because she is so hot. Her name must be Jennifer or Jessica. That's all I know. This girl, I don't know. I don't remember what else she was in. She became a new girlfriend. Yes, Michael Clark Duncan. Could I believe that someone could kill him? The guy was like twice the size as The Rock.
No, Michael Clark was huge.
Yes. Again, shocker that he died. He was so big. He made people look small. He made big guys look small.
Yeah. No. I loved him. I loved him, Michael Clark, in just about every role that he played. He did a phenomenal job acting. But yeah, no, this movie, no, it's at the bottom of the list. I would maybe accept it above the Kane movie, but that's about it.
Um, again, I enjoyed the movie, but I'm not a Mummy fan or anything like that.
Yeah, well,
I
I
was
love the three Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. They're better than the old Universal ones, and I don't say that very often because I love those Universal movies.
I was a Rock fan before he was The Rock. Like
Yeah,
I liked him, when he came out with the Nation of Domination. I liked him when he came out as Rocky Maivia. I will admit it. His little tassels that he had and everything. But again, would I think this movie is great? No. Did I see it at the movie theater? I did. Um, did I watch the part of Kelly Who when she does something? I watched it and I slow motion it so many times. I wonder how Blu-ray looks. Okay, so where should we put this? It goes above the Marine, in my opinion. I've never seen Magic Mike, so I can't say.
I told you it's at the bottom of my list, and the only movie that I would put above the list where we're at right now is the See No Evil.
Wow, no way! I cannot put it. It is not worse than a Hulk Hogan movie. Okay, so Thatcher says above all the Hulk Hogan movies. Well, except for No Holds Barred, because No Holds
Yeah,
Barred.
yeah,
That's
no
different.
holds barred has value.
Um,
Just above the Marine, Ed. You say it's just above the Marine. I'll accept that.
yeah, I think that again, his first movie was better than John Cena's first movie. And now we come to Steve Austin's first movie, The Condemned, which was a cheesy version of The Running Man, just out in the world, out in the jungle. Did you see this movie?
No,
Okay, you didn't miss anything.
it's got Vinnie Jones in it, so I might want to see it at some point. I love Vinnie Jones
I don't remember it being bad.
and Manu Bennett. Oh, dude, yeah, I might actually want to watch the movie just to see how bad it is.
It just wasn't what you would say it was good. I don't really remember much. There was a hot girl in it. I remember that. Go shocker, right?
Yeah.
But that's about what I remember. Hell, I forgot about this movie till today, to be honest. This was one that I added into the group today. Like, what was his first movie? Well, you've never seen it. I've seen it. I would put it below the Marine, above Hulk Hogan's movies.
Would you put it above
else?
Scorpion King or not?
No. I personally would put it below the Marine.
Okay.
I think the Marine was better.
Okay.
That's not saying very much.
Yeah, I get it. We're not talking about the best of films here. Well, in this category anyway.
This is definitely 16 out of 18. No, it's not worse than a Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry. Hulk Hogan can't act, nor he can even make. I mean, he can barely make a bad movie good, though he did it the first time. He was not able to replicate that magic. They live.
I love this movie. And it's even more relevant today than ever before.
I have not seen this movie in a very, very long time. I remember when it came out. I remember seeing it when it came out. Not at the movie theater, but shortly after. Ryan, the Tooth Fairy is not on here because The Rock was already an actor for the most part. With that said, Tooth Fairy is actually pretty entertaining.
Hey, Punk made the rules. Can't fight the rules. They are what they are.
I made the rules, and like I said, the amount of money that I make for this, I don't really give a shit what you guys say. All right? Because this stream will make me like 20 cents if I'm lucky. I remember this movie being good, and
I'm not far off down south.
Yeah, this movie is really, really good.
Yeah.
It does so much. You don't see Roddy Piper as Roddy Piper. I don't look at a Hulk Hogan movie and not see Hulk Hogan.
Right.
I don't look at an early John Cena movie and not see John Cena. Now I don't, because he's a full-time actor. Same with The Rock early on, like you just kind of saw The Rock. I have to go back and watch this movie, whether it wins or not, because this is a movie that it is loved by people other than just wrestling fans.
I love this movie because Roddy Piper isn't Roddy Piper, and because Keith David's in it, and Keith David is freaking amazing. I love his voice. I love the stuff that he does, and the fight scene that they have. Those two men picked that thing apart and really dug down and made a really good fight scene between the two of them, and it was pretty close to real.
So Mr. Wonderful sent $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Because pro wrestling, as long as Princess Bride wins. Well, Princess Bride isn't even number one anymore, so it can't win. But thank you very much. And you're right. Now I can't say that it'll only make me 20 cents. Like I said, I want to go back and watch this movie. I'm going to go back and watch this movie no matter what. But I've been saying that for quite some time.
He definitely had some of the attitude, some of the persona, but he was playing a totally different character. And it showed that, hey, he had talent. He could act. He could do other things. But even the subject matter of this, I'm a big fan of the director of this movie. The Thing is another one of my favorite movies. So those two are some of my top kind of psychological thriller horror movies.
I don't remember any. I don't remember any Easter eggs where he has bagpipes or anything like that. He's just some badass guy who's just. I don't even remember how everything comes about. So it is one of those movies. Like I said, I'm gonna go watch again. Just because I want to.
Yeah.
Not like Indiana Jones, which I have no intention of ever watching.
You will watch that movie.
Oh, Princess Bride is number one.
It is number one still, yeah.
All right, so where would you put this?
What's number 3 right now?
Roadhouse.
Oh, that's tough. I am going to put They Live at number 3, but it's tough.
So I don't have a problem with that, though. It's been a hard. I mean, I would put it at 4 just because I've seen Roadhouse. I know Roadhouse pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I've seen this, but I don't have a problem with that. Where would you guys? Mr. Wonderful is saying number 2. I can't put it above Predator, but
I can't put it above Predator either. But yeah.
But like I said, I think we're gonna vote on the top 5.
Good. I think that's a good choice.
What to watch. But Roadhouse is going to be excluded anyway because we've already done that.
Right.
So, but it's still up there.
Yeah.
Down South says 2 behind Predator. Actually, that would be number 3. Mr. Wonderful really does not like Predator. Viper Scout says number 4. So it's kind of in the mixed bag, it seems like, between 3 and 4.
3 and 4, yeah.
Let's grab this and All right. So next person that says 3 or 4, that's where it gets dropped. Princess Bride is number 1 down south. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful is saying number 2. He's wrong.
Yeah, so it's 3 or 4. So 3. There you go. Down south, put 3.
See, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you, but you didn't follow the rules.
Again, he's not listening. You know, whatever.
No, he's stuck in his own world of where he wants things to be.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful, for getting us 3 new members.
No, he's been a member.
He's been a member for 3 months. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you remember the hidden thing that we had to figure out? Like, oh, wait a minute, you have to act like you're going to do a super chat. Yeah. Then it's down there. It's so weird, you know. Like, why would you put it there? Like, put it in the super chats. Like, people don't want to send a super. Like, they're scared they're gonna send a super chat, and it's like, oh, there it is. Yeah. So the Running Man. I didn't add this till today for some odd reason, and I'm not really sure why. Because I talked about it on Saturday on Oz's. But again, Jesse Ventura is also in this. I don't remember how big of a part he had. I know he was one of the main villains, but he wasn't the end villain.
This is a really good movie. I actually really like this movie a whole lot. I think they did a good job with a lot of things with it. Yaphet Kotto, I love him too. Jim Brown. There's a lot of good people in here. Yeah, I'd put it. Where are we at? What do we have going here?
We have The Princess Bride, The Predator, They Live, Roadhouse. It's not going in the top 4.
No, I don't think so. Roadhouse, Turtles. What's after that?
Blade.
I
don't think it can go below.
What's after Blade?
No Holds Barred.
I'd put it above No Holds Barred, but
well, down south says above Turtles.
I don't think it's going to be above.
He's
Turtles.
Saying into 5. Warchest says he was the main slayer that had won his freedom, and they sent him to kill him once they lost all the other slayers. What a name!
Yeah, Running Man's a great sci-fi story, and that's why I like it so much. So it's pretty high up there in my category list. I wouldn't mind putting it above Turtles, but I don't know if it's going to fit this list just right if we put it above Turtles.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. It also has Richard Dawson in it.
Yeah,
who does an amazing job as a bad guy.
Always.
There's a few guys in history that aren't real actors that kind of show up.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen what's that Tom Selleck movie with the robots? That has the guy from Kiss in it.
Tom Selleck and robots. I don't know.
The little robot spiders. It's in the future. He's a cop. And the main villain. Oh, I can't think of it.
Yeah, no, I can't either.
And it's like right on. I want to say the Running Man. It's not the Running Man because I'm looking at
clearly. But no, the Richard Dawson. I will never not see his character from Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, Hogan's Heroes is hilarious. And what's even funnier is if you know anybody from Germany at the time, in the 90s.
Runaway.
That's it.
Running Man, Running Away.
Yeah. The German dub of Hogan's Heroes is freaking hilarious. because they pick a person with the most Mickey Mouse voice to play Colonel Klink. And so, the whole movie is the US POWs
Yes.
making fun of the German internment camps in World War II. And
Oh,
it's a really,
my dad
really,
used to watch this TV show all the time.
it's really, really dark storyline, but this comedy has a lot of situational stuff that's freaking hilarious. And the way the Germans made fun of themselves when they dubbed that and brought it over, it became one of the most popular TV series in Germany in the 90s.
Wow. All right, so where do you think it should go?
I think it should go above Turtles.
Anyone else? No issues with putting the Running Man above Turtles? It's weird. It doesn't seem like it fits. It doesn't feel like it fits this, right?
It doesn't fit it because, I mean, if you put this up against Predator and stuff like that, that would be kind of more appropriate because it is such a sci-fi type of storyline.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to get to that, guys. We're about to get to that.
So this was a late ad. Okay, so we put this at 5. So right now, right now the idea is I will put this in a poll or in a post for a week. So next week we have time to watch the movie. And we're going to vote on 5 because that's the only. So we'll do the top 5, but we're going to exclude Roadhouse because we've already talked about that movie. And that one would win.
So if we exclude something that's in the top 5, do we bump it down to the next one? So we still have 5 movies to vote on?
I guess it depends on what the 6th movie is. I mean, I would say at this point it doesn't matter. The top 3 are probably one of them is going to win.
Yeah, probably most likely.
Would be my opinion.
Yep.
All right, so this was a late ad. It was there. You guys know my thoughts on this movie, and Cobra La, and Sergeant Slaughter, and Serpent. I'll stop right there. And that Duke doesn't die. I forgot to leave that up. Forgot to say that. And that Duke doesn't die. If Duke had died, this would be my number 1 movie. It still is probably the best G.I. Joe movie, and that's saying a lot.
Well, the best G.I. Joe movie with a G.I. Joe name tag.
Yes. Well,
there are better G.I. Joe movies that aren't called G.I. Joe.
On this list.
Yes. Even on this list.
But Sergeant Slaughter, who does play Sergeant Slaughter, but he's not playing the wrestler Sergeant Slaughter, or else he would be Cobra because he's a turncoat that turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. Yeah, I still hold a grudge against him.
Yeah, that was a bad choice. That heel turn was a bad choice.
No, it was a great choice. In actuality, when you think about it, yeah. I think what pissed me off the most is that the Iron Sheik became Colonel Mustafa. Yeah. And it was kind of like, am I not supposed to know that that's the Iron Sheik?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he's the Iron Sheik.
Why couldn't he just be like the Colonel Sheik? Like, why? I know that's the Iron Sheik. He was pretty damn popular. Remember, he was the heavyweight champion for a little bit.
Well, we clearly know what Travis is interested in. He only cares about the money.
Yes. Well, so I wasn't going to put this on. I looked at it again today, and I said, you know what? He is prominent in this cartoon. This is a movie.
Yep.
It was supposed to be at the movie theater, but because
because they killed Optimus Prime.
I wish they would have put this one out first.
Duke dying would have been perfect, and they could have moved on with the toy line and the storyline and everything else, and it would have been fine. Yeah, no.
And because, again, Optimus Prime was a robot. You can bring a robot back to life. You could not have brought Duke back to life, and it would have been awesome.
I don't have as much hate as Lawrence does for this movie. I do enjoy it for several different pieces. I don't know. There's something weird about Zorana taking off her clothes in the water there, but whatever. And Pythona, but this movie, I agree, can stay right where it's at.
No, it's better than any of the Hulk Hogan movies.
Okay, all right.
I do own it. I did not go see it in the theater because it still makes me so mad. But then again, I also did go see Rad in the movie theater when it came recently, and I probably should have.
Oh, you should have done that
on that one.
Oh, that would have been fun.
But this, I mean, again, it is pretty influential with the G.I. Joe lore. I think we all can agree with that.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty big toy channel. And no matter how hard I try not to, it has become a G.I. Joe channel. And
that opening sequence is really phenomenal. The animation, the music cues, everything that happened in that opening, I think is really great. If they could have kept with something like that through the whole movie, I think it would have been awesome.
I'm actually with you. I think the opening is really good. Again, I just thought there was so much more that they could have done.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is a cartoon. They were trying to introduce new characters / toys, yeah, which they still did. Unfortunately, the whole Prime thing killed everything.
Yeah, and yeah, I do know. It was supposed to be released first, and things just got mixed up, and things happened behind the scenes that prevented it from coming out first. And I think it would have been a little better if it had.
I will say this: I don't think that if people saw Duke get killed, there wouldn't. I don't think the uproar would have been nearly as bad as when Prime died.
I absolutely agree. I think seeing Duke die would have resonated more with the G.I. Joe fans as, hey, this is a cost of combat, of military combat. You're going to lose people, and to have people exposed to that is a good idea, to say, hey, this is real. This is something that happens. And then you can have those conversations. But Optimus Prime was still this fantasy leader person. And yeah, it made a lot of people upset at the time. And I don't know how many kids would really be upset about it, but I know parents would be upset about it more than the kids. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Parents' movements were crazy then.
And for G.I. Joe, it was already established that he was the leader. Hawk was the leader.
Yeah.
But it would have set, and it could have set an amazing story arc for Falcon and who he actually was had he watched his brother die, and his brother died for him.
Yep.
Again, now we're breaking down a stupid kid's cartoon. Where Optimus Prime,
we talk about movies and toys, so yeah
with the Transformers, they were trying to show you that there's always one selected leader, and the matrix of leadership will let you know who it is.
And I'll say another piece of that, which totally blows me away. Do you realize how many Transformers died in that movie before Optimus Prime did? I mean, they killed off like half the freaking line before they got to Optimus, and nobody batted a freaking eye at it because it just happened. But Optimus was like a drawn out moment because it was serious, because he's the leader, and there's a moment of transferring leadership and all this other stuff. I really do agree with you. If G.I. Joe had come out first and Duke had died, it would have set a precedent, and Optimus would have died, and it would have not been received as poorly, I don't think, because I think the Duke death would have kind of softened that blow.
I'm with you. And Duke wasn't even the highest ranking sergeant that you could be in the Army. And Fatrid says, we're all stupid kids. I'm kind of with you there. I can't really argue that at all. Transformers decided to kill Prime after they saw the script for Joe and realized they could kill Prime. Yeah, well, then they realized they had to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, for toy purposes, they had to bring him back. In G.I. Joe, they wouldn't have had to, because they had 150 other characters that they could use.
So this is okay. So I know we're talking about Transformers. This is the death that I remember the most,
That's the
because
one. No, I agree with you. That's the one that affected me more than Prime.
yes, because like you see him like the smoke coming out, and you're like, they just killed a Transformer. Like they just killed him, and it wasn't even close. It was an onslaught.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was two. It's not like they were dying on both sides. The
Right.
Decepticons just came in and finally did what we already knew, that the Decepticons were like way more powerful than the Autobots. Yeah, he was an E8.
Yeah, he was an E8. Yeah. Which isn't the highest sergeant rank that there is.
No.
There are ones above that.
Though I
Yes,
believe he was the highest ranking in the with the file cards. But eventually Gung Ho was.
He was called first sergeant, which even if somebody had that pay grade of first sergeant would still be above that pay grade unless they were declared first sergeant.
Yeah.
But I believe that's how it works. I'm not entirely sure, but that sounds, I don't know.
Well, he was a master sergeant, I believe. I thought he was a master sergeant on the file card. Yeah, she's a master sergeant.
Right, but like the first shirt is the top sergeant. You know, he's called like top. So even if it's a master sergeant rank, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe that there's like a title distinction that would put in chain of command that would make him a little bit above even somebody with the same pay grade.
Come on, Ed, you were in the Army. You should know. Yeah, okay. I believe you're talking about the movie that was actually worse than this movie. I'm not a Duke fan. Anyway, where should we put this?
I'm kind of lost at where we're at right now. It's not great. I agree with putting it above some of the Hogan films.
I'd put it above The Condemned.
Yeah,
I'd probably watch it before The Marine.
Absolutely, I'd watch it before The Marine. I mean, just for nostalgia purposes, though.
Above Scorpion King.
Yeah, I would put it above Scorpion King.
I'm okay with that. A Magic Mike. I mean, Magic Mike does have the Duke that actually dies in it.
Yeah, but I'm never going to watch Magic Mike, so I'd put it above that.
But I'm just saying, Magic Mike's lead character was the Duke that we actually got that died.
I love the fact that he was so pissed off about coming back, having to do another G.I. Joe movie. He says, just fucking kill me. Just kill me. And like, okay. We don't want you in the movie that much anyway.
So 11 above long. I mean, I'd watch Before the Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Above Man on the Moon.
No, I would not put it above Man on the Moon.
Oh, okay. So it comes in at number 10. All right. So there's our ranking. And our top 5 come in as The Princess Bride, The Predator, They Live, Roadhouse, and The Running Man. So like I said, what I propose here is that we let people vote on it through the week. That way they have the weekend to rewatch it. We have the weekend to go through it. But we're going to exclude Roadhouse because we've already done that movie.
Yep. So that puts... Does that put Running Man?
No, The Running Man makes number 4.
Okay, what's number 6?
TMNT. Yeah, I don't really want it on the list either.
I don't want it on the list.
All right. See, this is when...
Sorry, I like...
This is when we make our own rules.
I do like the movie, but no, I don't want it on the list. I'd rather talk about something else.
Can you start at the top? What do you mean? We're gonna vote on it. I'm gonna put it up. Okay, so if you guys can't see, number 1 is The Princess Bride. I guess I could highlight, right? The Princess Bride. Not a big shocker. Number 2 is Predator. 3 is They Live. 4 is Roadhouse, but we already did an episode of the Roadhouse, so we're not gonna go back to that, nor are we gonna do any of the remakes or the second one.
Oh God, no.
And then the fifth is the Running Man.
Oh,
Which I
Running
don't
Man
think
and
even I don't even think it has a chance to win. I think those top three are what everyone's gonna vote on.
yeah, I think so too. But I mean, honestly, the Running Man and They Live excite me the most to talk about. I've talked to death about the other ones, so those are the two that I would want to vote for. So yeah,
For me, honestly, I'm hoping They Live does win because, like I said, I do just want to go back and watch it. If it was The Predator, I would have no problem because I think there's so
I,
much to talk about in that. But I
I
know what you're saying. You've talked about it so much.
but at the same time, I would love to. You know what's funny about that list? We've got two Schwarzeneggers on
Yeah.
there.
And the only reason why he's in there is because Jesse Ventura is in both of them.
Right? Exactly.
And
I love the Running Man. I love.
I could have put Conan on here because Andre was in Conan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Andre and
Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain. They were both in it.
Will Chamberlain was, and there's actually a different wrestler who was in that, I think too. But anyway, I don't think Andre was in any of those movies.
I thought they said he was because
he was on set to take a picture.
There's that picture.
There's a picture
Arnold look like me.
Yeah. Well, you got Wilt Chamberlain and Andre the Giant with Arnold, but I'm pretty sure he was not in any of those movies.
Ed is saying. I thought that I read that he was in it with Wilt Chamberlain because they needed two people that. And again, it's been a long time since I've seen those movies, so I don't remember. And I know the famous picture, but that's why
he was just on set. He was not in that movie, I don't think. I haven't seen any reference to that. And I've seen those movies a lot. I love those movies, so I don't ever remember seeing him in there. Unless he was the monster.
And I love that picture with him in the middle because it's like
so
he was
tiny.
considered the big bodybuilder at the time.
Yep.
Like he was tall for a bodybuilder. And when you see him next to those two, you're like, he's tiny.
Yep. Yeah.
But if any of us stood next to Arnold in his prime, none of us are going to say you're tiny.
Yeah, no, Arnold, yeah.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. So I will put up tomorrow in my community tab so we can vote for The Princess Bride, Predator, They Live, or The Running Man to watch in 2 weeks and discuss. I will probably have 200 to 300 people vote on it and 11 people watch the stream.
Hey, whatever. we're going to be there. We're going to be talking about it. It's going to be fun.
I just love every time that we did the voting. I'm like, how is there this many people voting, but no one realizes what they're voting for, considering.
Hey, you know what? People don't read anymore. They just kind of click on buttons, right?
That is very, very true.
Look at some of the comments on some of the anyway.
So Ed says he only played in The Princess Bride and The $6 Million Man as an actor.
Yeah, he was Bigfoot.
I love The $6 Million Man.
That was a good show.
I remember even as a kid, because I think my dad.
You forget he was in BJ and the Bear as well, and the Fall Guy.
He was the Fall Guy.
I remember him in the Fall Guy. I loved that show. That show was awesome.
BJ McKay and his best friend Bear. That was the dad from My Two Dads. One of the dads.
Yeah. He was also in The Greatest American Hero, which is another favorite of mine in this household.
Was he?
Yep. Okay, so he was in Conan the Destroyer. He was the creature, the monster.
Okay.
At the end. He's uncredited So they never even gave him credit for it. But that's why he was on set. I thought he just came to visit on set.
All right.
But IMDb credits him as being the monster at the end of Conan the Destroyer.
It's funny that funny that Fall Guy got brought up because every time I open up my TV, my Vizio, it's one thing that comes up. It's like watch for free the Fall Guy.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm
funny.
like,
Well, you know why? Because they've got the new movie that's coming out.
oh, do they?
Yeah.
That song at the I gotta say,
I
the
love
70s and
that
the 80s
song.
had amazing opening songs.
I loved that song of the Fall Guy. That was just like I
And
was
he sings
into
it
it.
himself too.
Yep.
Like Shawn Michaels sings his own theme song. Bret Hart didn't sing his own theme song, but Shawn Michaels does. But all right, I think it's a pretty good list here. I think
no, that's good.
we get good movies. No matter what gets picked, I think it's going to be a good movie to watch.
Yep. I am not surprised at the top 3. I am mildly surprised at the top 6, actually.
I think when you really start to look down, the only one I'm surprised. I'm surprised that No Holds Barred isn't higher, just because of how bad it was.
Yeah.
But it is really hard when you start looking at it to say, I need to move it above these other movies.
Yeah.
But it is like, it was the first wrestling movie done by a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've all had bit parts and stuff. And it's amazing, some of the stuff. Like, there was a wrestler in The Godfather. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I wasn't even born when The Godfather came out, I don't believe. At least not the first one. What year did it come out? It was like 74, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
Yeah. Either way, I wasn't going to be watching it. It's called Unknown Stuntman by Lee Majors.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Lee Majors has done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and his house is amazing.
Yeah.
I drove by it when we went to Kentucky many, many years ago. And they're like, that's Lee Majors' house. I'm like, all right. It looks like a giant ranch from Dallas or something. Go figure. All right, guys. Well, I think that, War Chest is saying, I think it's on Prime. Because I think what it's on is on Freevee, which has a lot of good stuff. I started watching Chips just because you hear the theme song and you're just like,
you get drawn in. Yeah, those theme songs were amazing.
I still can't. I still cannot see a motorcycle cop and not start singing, like, just humming that theme song. The day I die, I will see an officer on a motorcycle, and it's like, I just wanted that in all you guys' heads too.
Battlestar Galactica, everything in those 70s, early 80s, man. Perfect.
I don't remember the Battlestar Galactica.
It was epic. No, it was I mean, they took cues from a lot of things. So that was that was cool. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We really appreciate you. Come vote on the poll. Make sure you vote.
Yes, but don't let your daughters on the poll. Remember that. All right. I will see everybody this Monday. I have a feeling that movie is going to win.
I hope that movie wins.
I do too. So anyway, we'll see everyone Monday. And I'll be going live alone this time, I believe. I hope there's no Michigan game on, so no real distractions. Anyway, Matthew, once again, had a great time. Thank you. And we will see you all this Monday. Take care, guys.